this specific technique is not to disturb the curl pattern. Okay, you're not brushing it out. You're not making the hair straight. You're gently sectioning this off because you're gonna see now how I'm gonna be painting these curls. All right? This is a great way to give highlights to someone who wears their hair naturally curly all the time. Now, this technique, if they don't wear their hair curly all the time and then they blow it out like mine, it might look chunky. So it really is perfect for someone who does wear their hair curly most of the time. Does that make sense? Because then you gotta be careful because like I said, once you blow it out, you might get a chunky look, kind of like, I don't really like that. I have some chunks in mine. But when my hair is curly, it does look better. So I'm gonna take my brush. A short bristle brush works better for this. Okay? And I am gonna come here, start on whatever side it is that I wanna start. There's a few ways you could do this. You can take a curl at a time and just paint it. Or one of my favorite ways to do it is I just love to weave this out, pull the hair, and paint it. And then drop it. Weave this, pick up the hair, paint it, and drop it. Now, can you guys see how these highlights, and then make sure you feather in at the root, but can you see how these could be chunky if she blew her hair out, right? You're with me on this? Now, I'm gonna go through and actually, I know I told you to use a short brush, but because this is not clay lightener, I'm gonna use a longer brush because it's just gonna make it easier for me. So I weaved that through. Someone saying something to me?
Yeah. Do you think you could push the camera down just a little so we can see the bottom of the hair?
Of course.
I don't know if
It's so hard for me to gauge. I never could tell. Wait, is that, oh, there you, is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, thank you for telling me because I had no idea. Okay. This is a very intuitive way of coloring hair. Now, what does that mean? It means that you're being very, very in tune with what the hair needs. Now, you see how I just placed that all in there, but I didn't make any dramatic. And you see how like then the other hair underneath is left out? Now, of course, if you want more blonde, you could have put another section here underneath. It all depends what look you're looking for. But again, I'm not disturbing the curls. I'm gonna drop this down and I'm gonna gently make another, I'm making like 2-inch slices on this girl. People see people with curly hair and they freak out. They think they gotta blow the hair out. They think they gotta like do all this extra work. Some people actually brush people's hair out, then go to foil it. This is one of my friends, Evan Joseph. You can follow him on Instagram. He's an amazing curly hair expert. If you're into hair, he's a cool guy to follow. He does this technique. Let me tell you something, all his clients look freaking amazing. They all look amazing. And in the real world, guys, there's 1,000,001 ways to do things. So just because I'm showing you this way, someone could come through and also do, look at this fast technique. This is for a look if she doesn't want chunky highlights. If she just wants a real sun-kissed look and a natural look. You see what I just did? This is a whole different highlight than the hair painting one I did underneath. This is just gonna give her little glimmers. And of course, as I always tell you guys, which I don't know if I did or not, if I was doing this in the salon, I would not be using regular lightener. I would be using a really beautiful buttery clay lightener because the clay lightener won't dry up. And this kind of project would come out much better. Again, I'm not disrupting the curl pattern. I'm gently with my hand breaking this up. And I'm working my way through this. Anybody have any questions while I'm doing this? No? When you guys come in, if anybody wants to experiment and try this, because I know you've done this on straight hair, you're more than welcome. Now I'm going to keep doing my light strokes, I call them, as Lightner goes flying on the floor. I'll make sure I pick that up. So can you guys see how the curl pattern isn't disrupted? And could you imagine how beautiful, I'll put, you'll see her when you come in next week, what she looks like after she's all done. But this is a very soft, natural highlighting look. Now, could I do this to her if she had previously colored hair? Well, I probably would have to evaluate. Previously colored hair is not going to lift as easily, so it may be a little harder. And again, I want to make sure I'm looking at the way my client wears her hair. So here I need to be very careful not to make any stripes. And I'm just gently dragging this through the hair. Okay. So you see how that looks in the back? Now, when I come to the front, I'm going to pay close attention to how, what's her name? How Naomi is wearing her hair. She says that's her part, and she wants to have a little bit more in the front. She wants to have a more predominant, the good old famous money piece, as you guys know. That's what they call it. Back in the day, before a money piece, it was just called a face framer. But you can call it whatever you want. Same thing. I'm not disrupting the curl pattern, but now I'm going to pay attention to when I take this hair, because if she wants more blonde in the front, I'm going to paint bigger chunks now. And being very mindful when I'm at the hairline to pull the hair back. Do you see what I'm doing? And feathering this in so she doesn't get clumpy. Now, if I feel like I may have clumped up here, I take my dry brush, right? And what do? I just feather these babies right in. And by feathering that right in, I guarantee that I'm not going to have a clump. Okay, coming down here again. Now, how long has this taken me? Just look how fast and easy this type of service is. And just think of what a high ticket you could charge for this. So you could do this in under an hour, make your curly hair client really happy. It could be your niche if you're into this, and no one else in the market's doing it, right? You could have a whole business growing on doing like curly hair highlights that are quick in and out. Now again, if this is the look they're looking for. And here I'm very careful when I'm painting these on the front hairline. I take this, pull it back, make sure I'm feathering this baby in right there. I'm just looking how her hair falls. I'm down here, I feel like there's just a spot that's dark. There you go, I just painted it. Here I'm gonna weave this out and make 2 sections out of it. Pull this back, paint. Pull this back, paint, pull this back, paint, paint, paint. All right, I'm gonna continue on this side. Who likes this technique and wants to try it when they come back to school? then what I do is I lift this and make sure the curls are separated and aerated. Now, if I feel like I want a little bit more of a bold piece here, I might take this out and I might paint it a little more. Because she did say she wants it bolder in the front, that I'm very careful to dry brush her at the root. Okay? What is about 10 minutes in? I'm almost done with her head. Let me see, I gotta put this in. Okay, here we go. And now we're gonna be working on this side. Any questions? So once again, it's real important in the front. Make sure you're painting that, but dry brushing it at the root. I'm gonna just show you something. I just made a mistake and I just got a big blob by her face, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna fix it. Because no matter how long you're doing this, stuff happens, guys. It's par for the course, it's just the way it is. The trick is, I have to know how to fix it. I'm gonna pull this baby back, take my dry brush, I'm wiping it on a towel over here, and I'm just gonna blend this in and make sure there's not a big blob there anymore. Then of course, if this was a real client, I would never leave any kind of lightener on her face because it would burn the heck out of her and that would not be good, okay? I feel like it's getting nice and hot out, right? Or am I wrong? Feels like it's hot. Oh. It's so funny, after you get used to doing hair with the mask on, now that I'm like doing hair, like it's the only time I haven't had a mask on, my nose burns. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what happened, because this kind of happened to me when we were practicing on the mannequin.
Tell me.
What happens if, like, you're doing, like, the money piece, and then it comes out, like, sort of uneven, like one side is a little bit, like, more than the other?
Then that's where we use our toning. Then you guys are gonna learn that. I'll show you guys. What happens is if it comes out uneven, you just are gonna use a toner to balance that out. So remind me when we're here, I could show you how to do that. That's it's a fixing technique. And I have to be honest with you guys, 9 times out of 10, all the people you see doing like these amazing blondes, they're not precision. And then they're fixing them with that glaze at the sink. You know when they go like this in the sink and it looks all cool? They're actually, that's where the fixing comes in because they're melting the roots, they're blending in the thing, and that's where you don't see any mistakes. But it shouldn't come out uneven if your placement is right, but there's always a way to fix it immediately. Just remember in hair color, everything's fixable. The only thing that's not fixable is if you burn someone's hair off. Once it's burnt and it's off the head, you're done. You can't put it, it's like fabric. You can't get it back on. And also it's really important to keep your client clean and keep these lighteners off their face so they don't get burned. All right, she looks cute. How long did that take? Right? Looks crazy. What did that take? 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's like $200, $225, $265. I would charge $265 because then she's gonna get shampooed, she's gonna get glazed. 9 times out of 10, she's not gonna get blow out because she has curly hair unless she wants to get blown out with the diffuser, then that's a little bit more. But do you see how in like 15 minutes, I just created myself a nice $265 ticket? And a client who's thrilled that she can have her naturally curly hair highlighted safely and looking naturally. Now, mind you, this is one of a million techniques, but this is a fast, express service that your curly hair clients are gonna love. So what do you guys think?